Hey kids, this is Mark Arm from Mudhoney.
I'm Kevin Martin from Cannabis.
This is Nicole Alvarez from the world famous K-Rock.
Hi, I'm Dave Cruzen.
I am Matt Vaughn from Easy Street Records.
This is Richard Stuverud.
Hey, I'm James Joseph from James and the Cold Gun.
This is Jeremy Toback from the band Brad.
And this is the State of Love and Trust.
State of Love and Trust.
State of Love and Trust.
A Pearl Jam podcast.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Feed that algorithm.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the State of Love and Trust. It's a Pearl Jam podcast, and I'm one of our two hosts, Jason Kerepesi, and alongside me, as always, is
Paul Ghiglieri.
Yes. Love to see it. I'm super stoked. This week, we are continuing our celebration of what's on Paul's shirt, which is the album Yield. There it is. And we've got a couple of guests waiting in the wings. Usually, peek behind the curtain, guys, we do the main segment with guests, and then we go back and we record the beginning part and the ending part, and we stitch it together.
Let them live the illusion, Jason.
I'm letting them see the wizard. But this time we're just gonna fire through, and that means the housekeeping is gonna be like express version. So if you're watching at home on your YouTube, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. And if you're listening, not watching, if you're listening, Paul, what should they do?
Well, they should rate, they should review, they should subscribe on their preferred podcast platform of choice. You might get a sticker. Who knows?
Oh my God. Just chucking stickers. What Paul was chucking, he's still going. Unlimited supply.
Unlimited supply.
These guys, these stickers and this pin, pa-ching, you'll get them if you donate $5 or more to our fundraiser of the month. This month, that fundraiser is Donors Choose. They are a fantastic nonprofit. They help get
power of the pen, feed the spirit of education. Knowledge is power, Jason.
It is power, and that's why those in power do not want you to have knowledge.
Well said.
That's a whole rabbit hole we will not go down today. Suffice to say, go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen right now, up briefly. Scan that code or go to the description of the video or of the pod and click on the link. It'll go to our Instagram bio, and then you'll tap and you'll donate $5 or more, get the stickers and the pin set. Or for about $5 off of our shirt. Actually, I should say $5 off of any of our products. We got a shop. I'm wearing a hoodie. You know, look at this bad boy.
I like that hoodie.
Thank you.
I eschewed the tea this evening for a wee dram, so I don't have my state of
you don't have
love
your
and
mug.
trust mug tonight. Unfortunately,
that's all right. I've got the pint glass for you.
You do. You're repping on the behalf of both of us.
And can I tell you, I've got the penultimate Anderson Valley Winter Solstice in it right now. I've got a backup just in case.
You still
could be a long
any
one.
of those left. Outstanding.
And
I think
what
one
else?
year you literally had a stock working its way into like May or June or something.
I was into the following October.
Oh, God.
I was nearly a full year through. Anyways, the shop is a great place to support the show. That's how we keep these things moving. Holy shit. By the way, for Donors Choose, if you are the greatest donator, you get a fun bit of music. You get the Rockfords on the old LP, and you get the Waiting EP on the compact disc. So donorschoose.org. If you donate the most money, you get this. And if you are a patron in the month of February, we give shit away to patrons just by being a patron. Boom, you're getting the giveaway vinyl. So
we are giving away giveaway.
Come on,
infidelity to fidelity. That's what it's all about.
So, you know, anybody listening is just hearing silence, but I'm gesticulating. I'm gesticulating.
Quit gesturing. Maybe. How about you gesture our guests?
All right.
How about that?
Here we go. That's enough of that. We did it a few months back, Paul, for the album Verses. It was Superlatives. Jazz hands. Superlatives. And if you recall.
Jazz hands. Jason,
what was that? What did I just do?
I don't know what you did. You're like.
I don't know.
Doing like a scarf dance or something. I don't know what that was.
The Superlatives, if you don't recall from your high school yearbook days, most likely to cut their hair off. You know, Jimmy Duncan. Most likely to live on the streets. Mary Tillmore. I don't know. Whatever the hell it is. That was a little dark,
Favorite
but-
song, Even Flow.
Yeah, there you go. So let's do it again. Like I said last week, it's Yield Month because that's how we celebrate things. We just take the whole month. And we got our, well, I should say, some of us have our whiteboards to write our answers down. Some have other things. Paul, what do you have?
I decided to go eco-friendly for this exercise this time.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it
Hi.
is. So
What is that called?
look at this. Watch. You want to talk about?
Hi. Yeah, I see it. Oh, it goes away.
It just goes away. Exactly.
Let's
it
get
just goes
digital.
away. I went digital.
Digital.
Exactly. I
All
wanted
right.
to
All
get
right.
digital.
All right.
All right. Come on.
Let's bring
Come
in
on.
our first guest, returning champion number 1. He is a friend of the show, friend in real life, friend on the message board forums, and author friend of I Am No Guide, Pearl Jam Song by Song. It's not Brandon. It's Stip. Where is he? Where is that Stip? There he is.
Hey,
Mr.
guys.
Mountain Dew back in the house again.
So I hear there's stickers tonight.
Here they are.
Oh gosh.
Stickers and pins.
I wish I had more.
They're all the. God damn it! Here to solve all the madness and to really center us is another returning champion, friend of the show, friend in real life. It is the legendary Kathy Davis.
What you were doing was pulling taffy, sir. You were pulling taffy.
I was pulling taffy.
These are
Thank
jazz
you very
hands.
much.
This is pulling taffy.
Fair enough.
Hello.
Those aren't spirit fingers.
As
These
Maui
are
would
spirit
say,
fingers.
Kathy, you're so amazing.
Here are the rules, gang.
Hold on. First, it was a miracle that after all that crap, that the two of them
Yes.
are actually even still here.
All
they
I
stuck
know is
around.
I want to
They
win.
didn't-
I want to win whatever it is. I'm going to win. No.
I don't think there's a winner.
Oh,
I
man.
just want
All right,
somebody
I'm
to
out.
correct the jazz hands.
Hey, we win in our hearts, guys. We win in our hearts.
We're all winners.
Yeah, participation
All winners.
trophies.
I get a
So,
participation trophy.
For those, like I said, we did it once before. We did the Versus album, right? And we had some interesting categories. You have your favorite guitar riff. You have your risk didn't land. You have your greatest surprise. All these things. And so what I'll do is I'll pick one of the categories at random. We'll go, okay, we're here's some jingles. We'll, in post we will some music, and we'll write down on our whiteboards here what our answer is, and then on the count of 3 we reveal and we talk.
We need a
And
drum
then we do
roll
that.
from Stuberud.
Sounds good.
Jeopardy think music.
All right, so everybody ready? Everybody good? Everyone got
Ready.
their writing
do it.
utensils?
Pen is poised.
Okay. Pen of powers. We
Pen
got
of powers
Sharpies.
ready to roll.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let us start
I shall
then,
unsheath the pen. Here we go.
gang. My God, I hope it's just the pen.
Fancy.
Hi-yo. Good. We're only 7 minutes in. All right, let's do this. Let's do an easy one. I think maybe song that most deserves a music video.
Song that most deserves a music video. All right.
Is everybody feeling good here?
Almost.
Yep.
Stip is furiously writing.
I'm ready.
The camera's following him along. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hold
reveal.
on. Wait.
Oh, wow. You guys agreed. Awesome.
So me and Paul agree with Given the Fly. Kathy Pilot and that was already
I just think it'd be a really good video. They should explore
Like a
it.
proper video, not an animated videos.
Oh, no,
Not
they
the
should,
Todd
they should
McFarlane.
animate it. No, all right, here's my actual answer.
Brand of J.
Brand of J.
God damn it.
Right, there we
Stip
go.
pulling a fast one.
They'll
All
just-
right, Stip,
Brand
we'll
of
start with
J.
you. Brand of
Show
J.
the
What's the
Zapruder
story?
films.
There's the conspiracy theory nature of it, like the kind of the sloppy, unhinged nature of it.
You're
I
onto
think
something
there's
there.
a lot you could do with the visuals in the back if you had the band playing in the front, like almost like a Mind Your Manners, but with historical footage.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely it's short and punchy.
Kennedy assassination and like
Yeah,
UFO stuff. I mean,
Like we see it
I like
happen.
that idea.
You're in, you're out. Everybody had a good time.
What if it was all like POV of what's his face, like him starting his day? Takes a shower. Lee Harvey Oswald takes a shower and he looks down, grabs his box of bullets.
Dude, you went there.
Well, I mean, let's get fucking wild. Let's and then like, but then like, what? It's like a Choose Your Own Adventure, where in this version he doesn't go and do it. Like he like sees a flower on his walk and decides to like go and sit down, and then you see Kennedy just drive by.
In Hollywood.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You guys were thinking I was going to be sick. No, I had design.
Jason's out here playing 3D chess, and we're
Come on, baby. I'm all hopped up on Anderson Valley. Kathy, pilot, talk to me.
Well, it's just to me, it's just stories. I get, a dog romping, a guy on a journey, sees himself in the water, maybe is stunned by my own reflection. There's a lot of little cues, I think, that would really make a good video. Plus, it's a Jeff song, so he's a visual dude. He might be able to do something with his crazy ass art. I could see that too.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Good shout.
His awesome crazy ass art that I love, that I didn't win at Ohana, but that's another story.
What's the dog in your mind's eye in your video?
I don't know. Like I'm seeing like one of those spaniel type dogs. A spaniel type dog.
A cocker spaniel?
No, like a hunting sort of rompy dog, like one of those English setter type dogs that have. Right. Yeah.
So
not a wiener dog.
No, not a wiener dog.
Can you imagine if the Odyssey featured a wiener dog?
I mean, it would be even better.
I don't know. It just seems visual.
Paul, why do you like giving? I mean, I know I like it.
We had the same one. You take this one.
Well, I mean, talk about visually appealing. The idea of like just this being. I think of like almost like the Tool music videos where there's just these beings. They're not human. I'm sorry, they're not male or female. They're just like these beings. They're humans, just humanity, and like it being lifted up and then bequeathing its love to everybody else. Like it just feels like I like to see that illustrated. The wave motion. You mentioned it last week on the show, how Mike wrote the guitar parts to the verse to be kind of these swells and these undulations, and then just you feel like you're lifted up on top of you catch a wave on the chorus.
I mean, it's a cinematic song. It's very easy to picture it in your mind's eye.
Yeah. It's super easy.
What Stip said.
Somebody flying could go with the whole fantasy sort of thing. Yeah, it's good picks. It's funny that you guys picked the same one.
I'd like to say that great minds think alike, but
there you go.
I think this was just
one of us has to have a great mind.
Confederacy of dunces is probably what it was.
Well, you can go with the stop clock being right twice a day if you don't want the great minds.
Exactly.
1,000 monkeys and 1,000 typewriters.
Exactly. We'll choose the same video.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. Anyway, let's do. Here's a fun one. Best bass guitar riff.
Okay.
I'm feeling this one in my loins.
Okay. This was tough for me.
Slapping the bass, man. 3, 2, 1. Me and Paul again.
Oh, hilarious. Well, Push Me, Pull Me is like gymnastic bass line.
I really wanted to do something different. Like,
dude, Stip,
In Hiding, like his bass on In Hiding is just out of control.
All right.
So the start, I was just listening to Yield before coming on, and I almost went with In Hiding because when Jeff comes in, it's so good.
Yeah, it really is.
But I don't think it sustains it for the whole song. You forget how cool that part is. So I went with No Way. That's a great bassy groove.
Yep.
Soup to nuts.
Yesterday's is the number 2 bassy groove. That's just it's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great
Talk
album.
to me about all those yesterdays, Kathy.
Well,
Paul's favorite song.
Stone and Jeff Groove Meisters, just that whole thing is just such a great, incredible groove for me. And but before the groove takes off, it's the beginning that do 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 do. Don't you think you've got another little bouncy? And it's not like overly gymnastic. Push Me, Pull Me. That's gymnastic shit. That's magnificent, absolutely. But I'm a groove hoe, frankly. I like a groove, and this album is just full of it. And that one is like up there for me. So that's my choice.
Okay,
I'll die on that hill.
Solid.
Mr. Ghiglieri, we tied again, and you yielded to me.
That's freaking hilarious.
On the last one. So go ahead and tell me why we're both right for Push Me, Pull Me.
And it carries the song. I mean, it's Ed's spoken word. It's a lot of industrial sounds in the background, and it's just Jeff on a stage with a spotlight, just going nuts, you know? I mean, and gymnastics is I always liken like Dolores O'Riordan's voice in the Cranberries to vocal gymnastics, you know? And when I listen to Jeff playing this song, I get that same feeling. Like he's just literally just jumping all over the place, and you don't know where it's going to go. And then he kind of finds this pattern to it, and you're just with him on it. And Ed's lyrics just kind of add this really, really fantastic kind of Ginsberg-esque, you know what I mean? Like
I had
like
a firm
cloud
belief.
discarding all thought. It's just great. I don't know. I actually think it's a highly underrated song.
I do too, actually. It was definitely one of those when you're younger, like spoken word. Come on, what is this?
Well, it took me a while to get into
whale
I'm
song
Open,
sample off the
right?
top.
But once you get into, and what I love about I'm Open is it's so melodic, and this is completely in a different direction. You know what I mean? But they're of the same family tree in a lot of ways. So,
you talk about gymnastics, the dexterity to be able to. I can't. It's hard to do without a thing, but like a bass, but. You can hear it. If you've played any kind of stringed instrument, you can feel that those notes are not going to be easy to get to at the pace that he's going at.
Yeah.
So
It's incredible.
a lot of grooves in this record. Let's actually stick with grooves. Let's go to the most infectious groove.
most infectious.
Ugh.
Okay.
I don't have to erase anything. I just press a button.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Oh, Kathy and I are of like mind here.
I love it. Me and
Come
Stip
on
are
now.
in lockstep. All right, Kathy, talk to us why you and Paul are right when it comes to No Way.
Because Stone Gossard is a genius, and the number of times I have listened to, like on repeat, the let's call it an angel part, that groove particularly. Oh, there's the breakdown, the guitars cascading over it, just the whole thing. It epitomizes the perfect Pearl Jam groove to me. But the whole song is just, it's one of those things, you know? It could be a soul song almost.
But here's that's just it. Here's the thing, and this is why DTE is the correct choice.
Okay.
No Way is trying to be
The gloves are off.
it's trying to be a groovy song, and it is. But it's wearing that on its sleeve. It's like, this is the mission, and it executes it. It does it really well. But Do the Evolution is, on the surface, like an abrasive, angular, angry, garage rock, middle finger of a song. But underneath it, it's maybe the most danceable song on the whole album. So like the groove is there, and it's infectious, but it's stealth. It's not the main event, but it carries the song.
I'm gonna grab the baton. Hold on, I'm gonna grab the baton.
No, please.
Actually, no, Paul, you go first. Paul, you go first. We'll bounce back.
I would argue that the guitars on No Way are the moment where the rhythm finally catches up to Jack's drumming.
Ooh.
Interesting.
There's something so eclectic about his drumming on No Code, and with this album, there's something so groovy about that riff. There's a marriage between the two that we had not heard anywhere else on the prior album, for me anyway. Yeah. And that's that moment where it just comes together. And when you listen to that opening, boom, 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 if you're not doing this, that is, to me, that's the definition.
You immediately start in. That's why.
Exactly.
It's like as soon as the song starts.
I'm happy to say that it's the second grooviest because it's got a great groove.
Yeah, it does. I mean, not second is still pretty good.
Listen, Kathy's talking about
Hell
Stone
hath no fury like a woman scorned. Kathy is right.
I feel you though, Stip. I don't think it's a bad. I feel your argument.
Kathy's talking about Stone and grooving, right? Well, name me a better Stone Chicken Bob groove. Come on now. When you get Stone like that, it's got a good groove.
They animate somebody dancing to it in the video. It's like, as intentional as the rest of that song is, like they get to that moment of like, we just have to show somebody dancing. We just have to celebrate the groove.
Yeah. Exactly. By the way, the trailer for this episode, if you're going to release like just a 5-second clip, is just like the three of you going just back on itself in isolation. Just let the people make the
Put on the loops.
Air grooving.
That's
Wow.
that's the TikTok clip.
Yeah,
All right.
and then when the groove kind of flourishes into that wah, the wah wah at the end. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
can feel it. I can't disagree with you.
All
It's a
right.
good one.
Well, I feel like we're on the same track here. Let's go to best song live.
Oh. Damn it.
This one's hard. This one's hard.
Why?
So many great good ones. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Stip is the lone person who got it
Wow,
wrong.
hilarious.
That was my
'Cause you knew
second
that's what we
choice.
were gonna pick.
I went back and forth.
Yeah,
That
no.
too.
Give it
Steve,
to Steve.
sell
Great
us.
pick.
Number 2.
Sell us. I'm ready to be bought. Let's go.
Picture the last show you
Spoken
you
like
were
a true
at.
congressman, Paul.
Last show you were at, close your eyes. You're in the arena. Mike starts playing, Given to Fly. Eddie starts singing, and they get to that moment where the song it starts to accelerate, and then the whole arena kicks in with waves came crashing. Like I've heard people complain that they play it too fast live, and it's certainly faster than the record. It loses some of the atmosphere, but like that song just carries 15,000 people with it.
Yeah.
At that speed, the whole way, like the audience accelerates the song, like each is kind of like racing ahead of the other to see who can come in first. I don't know if it's a song that I'm going to always go to on a boot, but if I'm there, like any show, I'd probably rather hear Given to Fly than any other song on Yield.
Okay, I'm changing my
okay.
answer. And here's the reason why. Because
Okay.
for
The
me,
press of
Do
a button.
the Evolution, that song, it activates a crowd. It activates. It's evolution, baby. It activates the crowd. It does not carry us the whole way through. So I would agree with Stip that when that song comes on, Given to Fly, I feel like we are on that boat and that swell picks us up and we stay all the way through. So I'll give you that one. I'll give you
Counterpoint.
Go on.
Did Given to Fly was the reaction to that song in the live context responsible for Madison Square Garden shaking for only the 4th time in history?
No,
it was
there.
not.
It wasn't. It was Do the Evolution.
That's right.
You and your math.
4 times. Grateful Dead, The Boss, Iron Maiden,
Iron Maiden.
and
Do
Pearl
the
Jam with
Evolution.
The
Yep.
Evolution.
Yeah.
It's on
And
the DVD.
you did feel it. I was like on the floor, and you did like something like, what is going on? That wasn't.
Yeah, they were all looking at
incredible
each other
moment.
thinking, it's an earthquake.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I mean-
what I'll say.
And for me on that, to the evolution point, it has all of the components of a Pearl Jam participation song. We get to
Oh,
do
yeah,
our
Hallelujah.
hallelujahs, and we, plus it's got that, my higher power Stone Gossard little solo in there, got
Yeah.
that. And that's not a super common thing. And it's just got all the things that I love about the band live and everybody participating. And plus it's just fucking rock. The groove rocks supreme.
Yes.
Back to your
rocks
infectious
supreme,
groove
Stip.
point, Stip. Yeah.
Oh, and
It's
Stip,
good.
I will say that more modern live versions of that song kind of bug me from a guitar point of view, which is that Mike leaves his guitar relatively distorted on the main riff, and it is not that way on the record. It is clean. There's like a roto vibe effect going. It's really warbly. It's like, and then it builds and it builds into a distorted tone. He kind of leaves it there. It's too dirty. There's no warble, and it kind of I don't like that.
No,
as
I
much.
hear you. Like Present Tense and Yellow Ledbetter, same thing, and it bothers me there. Doesn't bother me on Given to Fly, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to know what the cat thinks.
Yeah, where's the cat?
The cat is trying to join and she has no opinion.
Okay.
What's the cat's name?
Yeah. Keely.
Keely.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Does the real Keely know about this Keely?
No. Keely. Turn up the lights. Yeah, I agree that GTF is way too fast live. However, that gives the tribal drummer Matt Cameron a chance to get it going. Do, 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 do. You can
Flex
just, I can
muscle.
feel that groove.
There you go.
That's a good groove. So it is a little too fast, but I think it would be draggy if it was played the album speed. So I'm not against it.
Okay, I can feel that too. That's a good shout.
So there you go.
Let's do, here we go. Song most lyrically relevant in 2025.
I'm not going for the obvious.
Well, now I want to know which one you think is the obvious.
I know. Don't say it yet.
No,
Oh,
yes.
come on, you know what it is.
I mean, I think I know what it is. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, none of us said do the evolution. I'm shocked.
And that
That
was the obvious
was my
answer.
first
Because
choice
it
when
was
I
too
started.
obvious, right? It was too
Yeah.
obvious. Because
Too
it's been
obvious.
obvious
I
for
bet-
years.
I bet
I know,
Jason and
it's-
I have I bet Paul and I have the exact same logic with two different songs.
Well, what was yours again, Stip? I missed it.
I had Given a Fly.
Give it a fly. That's right. Talk to me about Giving the Fly.
Yes, please. They hear from me enough. I want to hear from you.
So, Given to Fly, I mean, Do the Evolution, Brain of Jay are good descriptions of like, what is this moment right now?
Mhm.
Given to Fly is what I need this moment to be. It's what I need to, find within myself. It's the space that I have to drag myself, into the sense of possibility, of release, of transcendence in an oppositional world. Like I'm sure everybody on this this Zoom window, most
We don't
of the
use
people
Zoom,
listening.
sir. How
Sorry.
fucking dare you?
Whatever this is. Sorry, I'm at Zoom from work.
Whatever
It's
this
a
is.
video platform.
Thank you. This center stage, whatever this is. They're not a sponsor, are they?
No.
They're not costing you money. Just that sense that you can rise above everything that is pulling you down.
I love that. And I wish I had that positive frame of mind,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling so beat down by the last 20 days of this administration and the climate in the country that I thought, DT evolution was just too obvi, and Brain of Jay is just like the whole world's different now. It feels like it really is. And I think it's just speaking to how things are in the country and everywhere. We haven't cornered the market on fascism in the U.S. It's everywhere.
I'm going to read you some lines, Kathy, and I feel like you're going to nod along. You've been taught, whipped into shape. Now they got you in line. Stand behind the stripes. There will be order,
There
so
will
give it
be
good
order.
mind.
Yeah. It's there will be order is what really got me. There will be order because they're just going in and clear cutting.
Well, and stand behind the stripes, which implies hiding behind the stripes.
Yeah.
Which is
hiding behind the flag.
Yeah.
In the name
that's
of
where I'm at.
making
Everything
America
seems to be this
Gulf of
yeah.
America. Kiss my butt.
Gulf of America. The best golf there's been since
It's the greatest
I don't know.
golf there's ever been. Ugh.
Beautiful waters.
I much prefer Stip's point of view. I much prefer that.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm there, but it's where I'm trying to get to.
Hey, an
I like that.
aspirational pick, I'm down. I'm fully down. Because
I
if I was
think-
going to pick how I feel, I'd be in hiding. How do you feel right now?
See, guys, there's no wrong answers. There's no wrong answers.
That's right.
Paul, I think are you
Yeah.
was Stip right about your choice? Why you chose?
Well, I'd like
Faithful?
to be with Bukowski in hiding too, but unfortunately, I'm not wired to do so. I went with Faithful for pretty much the same reasons that Stip so eloquently outlined. So I won't be able to do justice to that reasoning with this explanation. But I mean, when you look at the lyrics of Faithful and you think about it, like, and echoes, nobody hears. It goes, it goes, it goes. We're faithful. We all believe.
Yeah. Keeps us in a box of
I don't
fear.
know. Thank you. Yeah. That whole ending, like you said,
Is this the
belief
box
in
of
the
fear
game,
right here?
control,
Is this the box
keeps
of
us in
fear?
the box of
Could
fear.
be.
We never listen. Voice inside, so drowned out. You are.
Me,
you are.
you,
You're
me,
everything,
it's
and
all
everything
related.
is you. Yeah.
I like that
That's,
hand gesture that Ed
No,
does.
that
live.
echoes lyric.
What is it,
really
guys?
speaks
What
to
does it
now.
mean? What does it mean that all of these songs, including In Hiding, feel as applicable as the next? All from one album, right now.
Because it's a masterpiece. That's why.
Well,
No, I don't know. I think
You're not
that
wrong.
I think they found the band found the place they needed to be after the bumpy ride of getting, no code and getting used to Jack. They were really grooving and locked in on this album. And I should have watched Single Video Theory again before we did this, but man, they're just locked and loaded. And I think that there was it felt like they were very collaborative, more so than they had been in the past, and I think that helped thematically as well, because they realized how unified they actually were. That's just my take on it. I don't know, right or wrong. What about you guys?
I mean, I think it comes through. I think you can feel it in the music. I think the fact that we have all these songs here that feel applicable to what's going on, not necessarily because they're talking about the same thing, but because they're taking different viewpoints of a zeitgeist of a time.
Yeah.
And even though the content of the zeitgeist isn't a one-to-one between 1997 and now,
yeah,
the fact that they were able to come at it from all different angles, and time is a circle. You're gonna feel like you want to hide away. You're gonna feel proud. You're gonna feel scared. You're gonna feel angry. You're gonna feel helpless about a lot of different things at all times, depending on what your views are towards life and the culture that you are grown up in, that you grew up in.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were able to,
I think they drew on classic themes that were part of their lives throughout a lot of their formative years too, in writing some of the lyrics, perhaps, and that can just be a through line to now very easily, because it's things that you feel that formed you. Those are just going to be part of your life now. So I think that's probably part of why it still resonates.
It's an album about, finding yourself in a world that's overwhelming you. And that's, this is not what was overwhelming them when they wrote it. But I mean, that need and that longing is absolutely where, millions of people are right now.
Yeah. I love that positive.
It's interesting that we can, we talked about Riot Act, right after the election, and we drew a lot of parallels between that album and that moment. And just 3 months later, you can take an album like Yield and be like, well, that feels really relevant now.
Yeah.
And those albums were 5 years apart, 6 years apart, something like that. 4 years apart. Anyways, let's do something a little tangential here, or connect, I should say. Most introspective lyric. Try and be specific.
But we want the actual lyric, not the song.
You could write the song, but you want to be more specific in your answer, obviously. 3, 2, 1.
Oh. Ooh.
So
wish list. Ball. I love it.
Wait, Paul.
Pilot.
So can you
Pilot.
start me off? That's right. Pilot. Go ahead, Paul.
I mean, I just, going back to what Stip said, this idea of feeling overwhelmed in a world and introspectively turning inward and trying to find your place and a sense of comfort within it. I mean, there's so much vulnerability that gets explored and mined on this album. And I think that line accentuates it perfectly. Stunned by my own reflection. It's looking back at me. And then there's that moment where, you recognize that it is, but also it sees you too clearly. And that's that moment where you are overwhelmed and you're not comfortable with who you are and your place in the world. And I don't know. I find it such an interesting line, and it's just buried in the middle of a bridge of a song in the middle of an album. You know what I mean? It's
that's how I feel about mine, but I want to hear Kathy first.
Well, I mean, I think that it's a presto changeo. You think he's saying, I'll stop trying to make a difference. But no, I'll stop trying to make a difference. No way. In other words, I'm never going to stop trying to make a difference. That's always been my take on those lyrics. And I will die on that hill.
Interesting that both of you didn't have Eddie lyrics.
Stone Gossard is my jam.
I mean, it's
that's
Jeff. Well, Jeff, it's I want to say that Low Light was the first time that he wrote lyrics on a Pearl Jam album, Jeff. And he had talked about how that was this huge moment to hear Eddie singing those lyrics out loud. Yeah. Now, Pilot is a Jeff song, and this idea of singing someone else's music or other people's lyrics showing up on an album. I just think that they were ready for this by this point in time. And I think that it's just on so many levels, like the dichotomy of what's happening here lyrically with this record versus what happened on prior Pearl Jam albums and the context by which it was happening. I mean, 1998, and this is, pre-Bush era America. And it's just interesting the places that the bandmates were going and the literature they were reading. And, I had mentioned previously with Ishmael and some of the texts they were reading, this album has always felt to me like Pearl Jam's musical. It's a book club expressed through music. It's a bunch of band members that are essentially are having a conversation with themselves and with each other and about these various texts. And it just is expressed musically.
See last week's episode.
Yeah.
Stip, you did Wish List. What line was that again?
The Verse of Trust, the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
That's my favorite lyric on the album, although Jason, you picked my second favorite. But I really wanted to nominate the whole song because Wish List feels in an interesting way like it's maybe Eddie's most introspective lyrics to date. And if you think at least at this point, if you think about an album like No Code, that this is coming out of songs like Present Tense or In My Tree, where everything that preceding that is Eddie trying to make sense of the world and maybe what his place is in it. Wishlist is one of the first times where he's really just reflecting at length at who he wants to be in it. If this is the world, if this is my place in it, who am I to myself? Who am I to others? Like the whole song, builds, upon that thought as he's trying ideas on, keeping them, discarding them, and then, culminates in that moment that like, I just want to be a person that the people in my life can rely on, that the most important thing I can be is, that foundation for somebody else.
That's a good shout.
The whole song is introspective. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I talked about it last week on our LP to EP, in that I looked at that song as not like being wistful, but manifesting what you want to see.
And like I wish I was the full moon shining off Camaro's hood is my favorite line on the whole record.
I love
it's so
that's my
evocative.
favorite. It's my favorite like illustrative lyric, because like from a metaphor point of view, like I can see that line clearer than any other line, and I love lines that are like that. But the message in the one that I chose from MFC, the whole line is actually, they said that timing was everything, made him want to be everywhere. There's a lot to be said for nowhere.
Yeah.
Though those lines right there always made me go, whoa, yep, chill. We live in this world that's just so like, it's so frantic, especially now, especially since social media has taken off. It's like you're expected to be constantly productive, and there's only 24 hours in a day. And listen, I get why rural America, middle America prefers to live in a slower way. It feels more calming. That I totally can get behind, and I get it. And I think that is not possible for a lot of people. And there's a wistfulness or wanting for that in some capacity. So when I'm feeling a little frantic because I don't live in that part of the country, I don't live that kind of a lifestyle, it is impossible to do a show like this and do work and have the family and do the things and have time for anything else is impossible. And so I have to remind myself, there's a lot to be said for nowhere. Just take a second and breathe. It's going to be okay. You don't have to be everywhere at once. So
A great choice.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's my favorite verse on the whole album.
Oh, wow.
Paul, you remember we did one of the first times we had you on to celebrate episode 100/101. We chose our favorite lyrics from every record.
Oh,
and that
that's
was my
awesome.
choice for this album. That was
Just
that was
throwback.
46 episodes ago or whatever it is.
All goes around, comes around. I just like the lyrics before too. Timing was everything, made him want to be everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole sequence.
That's
such a good
brilliant. Brilliant. Good choices.
Let's jump back into the music. Let's do and I guess we could include lyric writing in this. Best showcase of skill. Shit. I forgot to erase mine, so now I'm furiously erasing.
All right.
Paul and his one button are long since past that.
And this was the hardest one.
Okay.
That is
was
some
hard.
furious scribbling you were just doing there, Jason.
I was erasing.
Oh, you were erasing?
Now I'm writing.
You were punishing that board.
I was.
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Ooh, four different
answers.
Paul Given the Fly, Kathy Pilot, and Stip Eddie's vocals on Do the Evolution. I said In Hiding. I'll explain. Stip, go first.
I'm choosing this for two reasons. This is, I think, something he had been reaching for a number of songs. Previous albums like Luke and Habit come to mind. But this is the first time he nailed it, where it sounds great. You actually want to listen to it, and say, for as great as all of the rest of Yield is, as great as everything else on Do the Evolution is, Eddie is the only one who could nail that vocal. And I'm also going to single that out because when I heard a leak of Yield on the New York K-Rock, in late 1997, before the album came out, and I heard Do the Evolution with no other context for the record, I thought, like, oh my God, what did Eddie do to his voice? Like, did he just shred it to death? Is he gone? And then when you realize that Do the Evolution is a choice, that he's sounding like that to make a specific point, it's the perfect performance, for that moment. And it's something that only he could have done.
Paul, didn't you hate that when you first heard it?
Yeah. That opening shrill, like the primal scream.
The rooster.
It was the biggest turnoff for me. I was like, oh God, like.
So when did you come around to it? Like, what was it?
Or has he?
Admittedly, I've never fully come around to this song. Like I've gotten to the point where the whole song, I like the the like Born in the USA Springsteen quality, where it's like ironically unironic, and it's very critical in its nature, and yet people who are doing the very things the song is celebrating would probably not be savvy enough to realize that it's critical. That being said, though, what Eddie loves about it is that when it's his favorite song on the record, he's on record as saying this because he feels as though when he listens to it, it's like an out-of-body experience where he feels like he's listening to someone else sing the song, which I completely understand. I get why that's so attractive to him. The distortion, I mean, it's different if it's like when Peter Frampton did Frampton Comes Alive, and he's singing and he's using his voice as an instrument. I can get that. Or some of the things Robert Plant does on various Led Zeppelin records, where he kind of plays with his voice and different what's the word I'm looking for? Different
the call and response thing he did with Jimmy Page.
Dynamics, thank you. Yeah. I felt like with this, it fit the theme of the song. But I didn't. I could see it working in a bridge, or I could see it working for a section of the song. But the whole song, after a while, I was like, okay, this. So I've never fully come around to it because it just feels like he's yelling and screaming at me the entire time. That's
the magic trick of it for me, because on Habit or Lucan, like I'm with you 100%. Like this is too much and it's getting in the way of the.
Lucan's
the song.
a minute long, so I can. And there's some harmony to the chorus there, you know what I mean? Whereas this, it just is yelling and screaming at me the whole time. But look, I am in the vast minority here. I mean, this is an incredibly
Kathy
that is the hottest of hot takes.
I'm so not judging you at all.
Must save us.
I'm so not judging you at all. My favorite part of DTE is that desperate scream at the end, where he's like almost tired of screaming, or he's just so weary of the world. That's brilliant.
It's so good.
Brilliant. And I love that they have that in there. Yeah, chef's kiss on that. for me, Pilot, because of the dynamics, because it starts out like kind of little jazzy, little tinkly drums, but then it's obeys, listens, kisses, loves. You get that weird little line underneath, and you get a groove.
I loved that line when I first heard it.
I
like,
love that.
It's fun.
I actually I think I made some jewelry with that on there because I freaking love that so much. It's so dumb, like a teenager. But I think for the riffs, I think it shows everything that at that time in their creative process, that's where they were. You know, you got some jazz nuances. And then it's just a fun little groove at the same time. So that's what did it for me. But I mean, shit, you could do that. So yeah, about any song on the album, you can go, well, that was a genius one too because of this, you know. But that's the one I picked.
I'm gonna try right now and do that. I chose In Hiding, and I'm focusing in on Stone's riffs in particular, and Ed's lyrics in his vocal delivery in the chorus. And I think that this is one of those songs. I know Shihan, friend of the show, Concert Pants, on our Verses episode of this, spoke about Dissident being as his best showcase of skill, again, because of the unit of everything that's happening, coming together. And Stip said it was the most Pearl Jammy of Pearl Jam songs because it has the fun little riffs, the great groove, the soaring mic leads, and the kind of building and momentum and the swinging turns of melody that you want out of a Pearl Jam song. And I feel like In Hiding does that. And anybody that tries to play guitar will know how complex yet simple at the same time Stone's guitar riffs are in this song. And you've got a pre-chorus that could be a chorus, and you have an actual chorus, and it's just the way that thing all builds up and then releases, and then it's 5 minutes long. And it's so damn good. And I want to say this song too because friend of the show, Mark Hopkins, was meant to be on this. He's not feeling well as we're recording this, so Stip kindly jumped in for him, even though it's very late. And it's always late for a Stip, but we thank Stip for coming on anyways every time. But in this particular case, he was the Bell South call at the bullpen at the last minute. And I know Mark loves this song. When he was on our show middle of last year, he showed us how he plays it and why it's great from like a technical point of view for all the guitarists out there. And I was like, yeah. And we were just like, oh my God, yeah. So I'm going to pick that for him as well. But I think In Hiding is one of those tentpole songs that should have been a proper single, not just a radio like, hey, play it. Like, no, give me the damn B-side with the CD and the whole thing. That's a single, my friends.
Why do you think that's not in heavy live rotation?
I think he struggles with the chorus.
It's got to be that, yeah.
And part of the reason I say that is I think he struggled with the chorus in 1997. I don't think his voice is wired to hit that. And I think he does everything within his capacity to deliver that, and it's very difficult to do. I mean, this is the hot take. I don't think he has the voice for that song, that chorus anyway. And so I applaud the fact that he did it anyway. I mean, I think it's magnificent that he went out there and he was just like, I'm going to go register in ways that I wouldn't, I'm going to go full Lane Staley on this. That's something I could see Cornell or Lane doing,
there's,
it's just,
how many songs?
It's big, that chorus, and he just doesn't, normally when he sings, he doesn't have that anthemic, I'm going to hold this here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of that you just can't do that too. I mean, look at how many bands over their career would down tune certain songs because the singer couldn't get to that note anymore.
Yeah.
There was a time where they stopped playing Black for a period because he said in a concert in front of a crowd of people, we haven't played it as often because it's really hard to sing. I mean, and it is. I mean, it's.
How many times now does he kind of give way to those moments to the crowd?
Yeah, you could just
Jeremy
hand that off.
outro, and
he totally could. Yeah, absolutely.
So, anywho,
yeah.
What do we got here? What do we got? Let's do. How about this? Greatest surprise.
Oh.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
All of you are
Messy here.
envious of my 5-year-old right now.
That's right.
3, 2, 1.
I didn't pick a song. I picked a theme.
That works.
Okay. Let's go.
That works.
Kathy, talk to me
That
about
works.
the full lyrics of what is it?
By Stone and Jeff. Like they get whole
Oh.
sons that are
Yes,
all theirs.
yes.
You know,
That's a
Stone
great-
gets
that's a
2
great shout.
songs. Stone gets two full songs. I mean, you know, he had to wait to Bayleaf to write all those songs. And you know, and I just think it's brilliant that it became part of this most brilliant album. You know, and also a little collaboration with Ed too. You know, just the way he wraps his voice around the lyrics of all the songs. No way. All those yesterdays, the grooviest damn songs. And, yeah, that was the biggest surprise to me, I think.
That's a
I think
good
all of
answer.
us.
Yeah,
That's,
very good answer.
that's probably actually, if I was going to go back to 1998, listening for the first time, that probably was the thing that surprised me.
You know
the most.
why?
That's the
Because
best-
we take their lyric writing for granted now because it's been so long that all of them contribute in that way. So yeah, if you were like, wait a minute, reading the liner notes, hold on a second, Stone wrote this?
Yeah.
What? What?
The grooves were easy. I'm like, oh, Stone wrote the music for this. But
Yeah,
then you're
yeah.
like, oh, shit, he wrote those words are weird. He probably wrote those too.
That's a
So
great shout.
that was my
Stip, what
thing.
did you have again? Wish
I
list?
had no way. And
Okay.
kind of for the reasons that Kathy mentioned, like at the time, Pearl Jam for me was still, you know, capital S, capital B, like serious business. Like every song needs to be a portentous, like, you know, statement. I kind of ignored Mankind on No Code for that reason.
So
Like,
did they.
Whatever this is, like, this doesn't belong here. Like it's not serious enough. Like, you know, you could put it on like a compilation soundtrack with Grammy Out of Control, but like that's where that belongs. And so like when No and Brandon J and Faithful are both, you know, fairly traditional Pearl Jam songs, it's what you would expect. And then when, you know, No Way came on, like the lyrics are coming from the same kind of playful, semi-satirical, you know, space that Mankind is. You know, the music is amped up. It's a much more, you know, complex and interesting song. But like that just plopped right down to in the middle of the album, like, you know, in the Alive spot, in the you know, like Not For You spot, where you would normally be like really ramping up for like a big, this is the statement of the album kind of song, which I suppose in some ways this is, but it wasn't what I was expecting.
I love that take. My
Very
favorite
good take.
part is I just want the way he treated like someone to be there for.
Yeah.
The way he just punched those each time made a difference.
Yeah, and there's nothing to prepare you for that. Like there wasn't anything on a prior album you could could point to say like, oh, this is the logical outgrowth
Exactly.
of this.
No other vocal delivery was like that to that point.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
shout. Paul, what did you have
Perfect.
again?
I had Wish List.
That's right.
There was just a pop quality to it that I didn't. I
I'm
wasn't
popping.
prepared for that either. Yeah, I mean, I just
Radio friendly unit shifter.
I mean, we got Last Kiss around this time, right? And I think that was the
Yeah.
closest thing.
But it was
musically. It was after, right? So I mean,
Their
before
hilariously
this,
biggest
though,
selling
I mean,
single.
there wasn't anything that was playful in a way that was also introspective and, you know,
We're just sweet and
purposeful
sentimental,
thought.
like
And
that, you know,
sentimental,
had all of that.
Yeah,
You know,
and I mean, there were some Christmas singles that maybe kind of like flirted with that boundary, but
I think for a while, even though I thought the lyrics were clever, that the music was like too pretty or too serene. Because, you know, young Jason was angsty. He still wanted, you know, some groove. That's why he loved Evolution and Brandon J and stuff like that. But it's the lyrics are so powerful and they fit that twinkling mood.
That solo's so good too.
Yeah.
The best
it
solo
is.
on the album.
yeah.
You didn't want no damn Ebo in your song, huh?
Can I tell you? So, real quick aside, when I realized that Ed used an Ebo on that song, it was probably the touring band DVD. Every probably like 18 months, I'll watch or listen to that song and be reminded of the fact that it's an Ebo. and I'll go on like sweetwater.com or something. They're like, how much are Ebos again? I should probably get one just so I can do that.
Yeah.
I just remember watching SVT, like the REM connection, and like I'm talking about an Ebo, and it's like, oh, that's what that is from Ebo the Letter. One of my favorite REM songs of all time, but I had no idea what the hell an Ebo was.
Yeah, I know the much quoted line in our Stone Gossard lexicon. I can't get to an Ebo from SVT. You know,
I guess I'll do it.
You do it. I can't get to it. Sorry, bro.
I have only two hands, and they are doing other things.
They're doing other things.
I'm going to lead off my discussion of mine by opening my last Anderson Valley, Paul.
Is that the last one of the season?
Oh my God.
Hey, a credit to you for actually finishing them while it's still winter. How about that?
Was it?
That was my goal.
Was it a 24
was to finish
pack?
them. Well, I got I think 5 6-packs.
Oh,
so
it was
this
bigger
is the
than
last
case.
one.
The Jeroboam of beer.
Yeah. Best part of the podcast is me pouring a beer. All right, so I chose Evolution music video because we hadn't had one, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, there's an actual music video, not like that live even flow bullshit of them playing live. I fucking hate those videos. Not those particular videos, but like the concept of just a live video. It's like, how fucking boring is that? I can go on, like, who cares? But like a narrative, something that's thought out, has a storyboard. Like, oh my God, a real video, and the fact that it was that cool. Like, oh my God, like everyone knew who Todd McFarlane was, and the fact that it was this really thought out, fit the lyrics so well. So after 6 years of not having anything, like my band they were defying the spotlight, and they proved that they wanted to do it on their terms, and it was a swing and a home run. And so I was so tickled that they did it, and it kind of I know that the band doesn't like their music judged by visuals. It should be judged by the music. I always look at music videos as enhancers.
It elevated the song. Like Evolution and Jeremy are both top 20. Evolution might be a top 10 Pearl Jam song for me. And they exist independent of the videos, but the videos were the juice that got them up there, that like really made me grapple with and internalize those songs in ways I might not have otherwise.
Here's a quick question, and let's not go too long on it, but like is this band if Jeremy doesn't have a music video?
That's a whole discussion in and of itself, but
they just would have made it for Black instead.
Yeah.
I suppose for some people, I don't think that their audience would have become a revolving door of 25-year-old college boys without that video. But it seems like all these shows I have under my belt, there's always 25-year-old college guys there. It's that certain audience that their music.
How many college guys are 25?
Well, you know what I mean. 21-year-old, that age range, college bros, just out of college.
Like Even Flow was like the frat boy song for a long time, and they had no idea what it was.
What it was about. It's not a homeless guy, dudes. Yeah. What's going on?
Like I didn't really recognize. 10-year-old Jason didn't really recognize what Jeremy was about. He just knew that he loved the music and thought that Ed's vocals were like, that is incredible stuff. But then you see the music video and going, oh, like all of a sudden it hit the layers. It just torpedoes into your soul, into your psyche. You go, think about that, and like I am, and I'm only 10, but like, wow. Like, so anyways.
Well, using all the headlines in the video was intense.
Yes.
It was ahead of its time. I mean,
very much so.
The subject matter, like it's incredible video.
Yeah.
I want to do two more real quick. Best wow moment.
Best wow moment.
I cheated and have to.
Okay. I went with the theme and not a song, so don't shoot me.
3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah. Hallelujah chorus.
All right. Stip, give me the hallelujah. Talk to me hallelujah.
I mean, what a moment. What a moment live. What a moment on the album. Something they had never done before. The way it's like everything just sort of cuts out to sort of sit in that space. The way it feels hypocritical. Like even just in the way that they deliver it, like, the sarcastic underpinnings, to it. Like it's one of those. Pearl Jam doesn't always do satire well. Eddie's a little bit too hard on sleeve for it. He can't remove himself,
Right.
enough
Yep.
to do it. But man, did they nail it there. And again, there's nothing, even with the way that song was going to prepare you for just everything dropping out and just like living in that space, roaring back into the verse right after it. Incredible moments live. Great moment in the video where the like the
The
Sound of
strobe.
Music girl is, well, at that point she's like, there's just that girl running through the field, uh
Oh yeah.
lost in her own happiness, and then she like steps on the anthill and destroys how many millions of lives, just in her careless joy. Like everything about that is great. But I put Mike's wish list solo on here too because it's my favorite, maybe my favorite musical moment on the record.
Wow.
And like one of the like apex versions of like those kinds of like ascending to heaven, like cleansing kind of solos that he could do. He gets it a little bit better than that in I Am Mine, which is maybe the best version of that
Wow.
he's done. But Wishlist is pretty close.
I love it.
I like both answers. I really like the first answer because like.
Well,
now
that's
I
my
kinda wanna
official
change mine.
answer. I just wanted to talk about that solo.
All right, Kathy.
Very good. Well, I mean, just two balls out funk songs on a Pearl Jam record. To me, I never thought it would happen. I mean, I've been waiting since Tremor Christ for some proper funky moments, and I live for funk. I live for funk, and as does Stone, and that's why he's my homie. But I just think they fit so well it too. The way they're spaced out. You've got all those yesterdays at the end. You got No Way at the second. It's like, yeah. So I just think that's a miracle to me that those were given the space to breathe in the context of this great masterpiece that we call Yield.
Paul.
So
I mean, I went with Low Light. It's Jeff's first lyrical contribution to a Pearl Jam record. And, he's on record as just saying, listening to Eddie, I got to find the quote here. He said, to watch Eddie put his heart into singing lyrics I wrote was an experience I can't even put into words. And I just think it's so cool that you have this song, and it's beautiful. There's such a harmony to the song. There's depth to it, and it's beautiful. It's haunting at the same time. In many ways, it's what Last Kiss could aspire to be if it could remove itself from the shackles of pop constraints. And I think what's great about Low Light is Eddie's singing lyrics of a bandmate, but there's this kind of like understated, subtle, yet impassioned delivery. And you're listening to the song, and it's not Eddie singing his own lyrics, and yet I would not have known that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what was kind of wow about it was that moment where they're really becoming that kind of a band that they're going to be for the rest of their career. That level of collaboration where they can come in with something and there's no ego and there's a willingness to elevate the work of each other. And I thought that was profound. And I think I just remember going through the liner notes and seeing lyrics, and I didn't see Eddie Vedder, and I thought, whoa, as I'm, reading them. And anyway, so for me, that was a wow moment for me.
And to kind of see it all happening with Single Video Theory, being like, wow, this really is the collaborative effort that maybe they hadn't really had for 5-6 years at least. And you can see it happening in real time.
It shows.
And Jeff needed that after what happened on No Code. You know what I mean? Like that was a tumultuous recording experience for him. And to have that moment where his lyrics are on a Pearl Jam record and they're sung in a way that is, as I mentioned, impassioned. I don't know. I just thought it was a beautiful moment for them as a band.
And when we spoke to the Rockfords a couple weeks back, Chris Friel talked about how Mike was a little bit changed after he got back from rehab. And we know that's, when Mike was in rehab in 94, he met, why am I blanking on his name? Jeff Baker Saunders. And they formed Mad Season. But it wasn't until the Rockfords record that Mike really got to extend and use that muscle, that lyrical muscle, for a recording. And we didn't get it in the Pearl Jam world until Inside Job.
Avocado, yeah.
So can you imagine if he had found his headspace and felt comfortable and confident enough to write for that record too? There could have been all four of the five guys writing lyrics on the record.
Yeah.
So I think it was possible at the time. Anyways, Stip, you talked about this moment with the Hallelujah moment in given to the evolution. I feel musically that way when it comes to the apex in Faithful. I feel the way the riffs kind of they change. They're very crunchy. They're saturated. They feel layered, and it's something that from a guitar point of view I've always really latched onto, and I always call it like a pyramid song. It goes up and then it comes back down the other side. But that middle section of just music, it's simple, but it just feels like it's just kind of pulling you up a mountainside. In the same way that Hallelujah and Do the Evolution feels like we're all in that moment together at the same time. It's hard to really articulate, but every time I hear that middle
like
section
the
of Faithful,
pulling up a mountain description.
It's just like
it's fantastic.
I don't know. It gets me every single time. Maybe it's hard. Maybe if you guys out there may not understand what I'm talking about, but some of you do, and it's for you guys that I'm saying things.
I get it.
All right, last one, and this is maybe the most fun one, I think. Song most predictive of future Pearl Jam sound.
All right.
Save the hardest for last, I think.
I think it's a hard one.
Maybe it isn't hard, actually. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Four different answers.
That was my second choice, Jason. So I'm curious. I want to hear what.
All right,
what your
I'll go first and
was.
get myself out of the way. I chose Low Light. I feel it's. Kathy, you've been talking about dynamics a lot today. I feel like it's got so many dynamics. It's mid-tempo. It's gorgeous. It's less intense, but it's also still soaring. I think that there's a reason that this song has become a quasi-staple over the last handful of years. It found its live footing later in life. It was a late bloomer, shall we say. And I think maybe because it was a more mature song than they knew what to do with at the time. I think that as much as they loved the song, it may not have really fit in with the rest of the crowd quite yet. And it has found its footing. It has found its crowd. It has found its tribe, if I can kind of quasi-quote Waiting for Stevie, in this last 10, 15 years. So I think Low Light really is the song that, like, hey, we're going this route. Not that we're not going to rock, but like from a complete, totally encompassing musical experience, I think Low Light did a great job of.
You know what's an interesting thought experiment too is you could take Low Light, I think, and drop it on every album to come, and it'll fit.
It would fit. Yeah.
And I don't think you could say that for any of the other songs on Yield. There'll be at least one Pearl Jam record where, you know what, this was a great song, but it doesn't belong here. Like there's something chameleon-like or amorphous about Low Light that it goes in so many different directions, like in its compact little package, that you can trace so many of their musical detours and evolution out of that moment.
Keep going, Stip.
Genius.
What'd you pick?
No, that's why I almost picked it.
Well, what did you pick?
But you didn't pick it, so
But
let's go to the one you did.
I went with Wishlist because I feel like the type of song that Wishlist is, the things that I said before, like the interest, not just the introspection, but the trying to figure out, like, this is the person that I need to be for the world and for the people in it who matter. Like Wishlist is the first of that type of song, but Sirens, Future Days, Just Breathe, even things like River Cross, Setting Sun, like you can trace the DNA of a whole category of song that they didn't write before, that they regularly write now, like down to Wish List. Wish List is the patient zero of that strain of Pearl Jam.
That's a great
genius.
show.
Good take.
Well said.
Hot take.
All right, Kathy.
I like it. For me, I'm probably thinking more of the live experience here, but I just think that the way In Hiding is anthemic in a lot of ways. The thoughtfulness of the lyrics, I feel like that's just, the lyrics have just been even more crafted as the band has grown. That it showcases both the rhythm and the riff of Pearl Jam, which is important to me. And I think that it feels, that collaborative nature just has been a really big through line in albums subsequently. It just, in my view. And of course, it's got a good groove, subtle, and good dynamics. And I feel like that was seeing that on Dark Matter. I was seeing that on Gigaton. I can draw parallels, not necessarily because of the sound, but just because of the structure. I think so.
There's a cleanliness, like, or a simplicity. I'm not sure if either of those are the right word, to In Hiding, that I think goes on to define their anthems in particular. Post In Hiding, where like that's a good pick.
It's what came up.
Oh gosh, I mean, Given to Fly. You think of this like Messiah-like figure of youth, and he still gives his love. He just gives it away, and I think that in so many ways, this song is Eddie writing about himself, just not as explicitly as he did in My Tree. And I mean, think about it, like, he still stands. 2025, Pearl Jam is still here.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam 20, Chris Cornell. I'll quote him. I remember what he said in Pearl Jam 20. Chris was like, Pearl Jam, like, American bands break up and they're still together. Like, he marveled in Pearl Jam 20 that the band had not, like, that it was some kind of an anomaly. And I just think that there's something so prophetic about Eddie being willing to accept his role in the socio-dynamic of the socio-musical dynamic that he existed in, but also the role of the band to continue to stand. And so whenever I listen to the song, like, on one hand, I see Eddie as that figure that he's singing about, but on the other hand, I see that as a metaphor for the whole band, where, they are going to continue to just give love away, to the point where they would take a song like Alive and turn it into a song of celebration with their fan base in a live setting. And I think Given to Fly to me is just kind of this, foreshadowing of what the Pearl Jam experience may be like in the future. Wow. There's something epic and soaring about it. And, you get those moments, whether it's the end of Retrograde or moments off Dark Matter, the live experience, hearing Alive with, 18,000 people, whatever it happens to be. So for me, that's that moment.
That's brilliant.
I think we've all figured out how to perfectly encapsulate that record into now with 4 different choices.
Yeah,
I think
very interesting, and that's just a good point, that there is a through line of hopefulness, even though they talk about hard things, and talk about hard life experiences and the world being brutal, and my kids going through hard stuff, and there is still that kernel of hope.
Just like a hopeful defiance,
Yeah,
so
that's
much,
perfect.
and
Perfect. Yeah, and that was born in that song, I think. So well done, you.
Yeah. Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Well, there you go, everybody out there in podcast land, watching or listening. We've done it. We've done the superlatives for Yield. This has been a lot of fun. And I want to thank Yay Us. Paul writes on his, what is that thing called again?
Magic Slate. It's called the Magic Slate.
This one's called the Boogie Board. And I highly recommend it for those of you who are listening. You can, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch in a lot of ways with pens.
Yeah. My goodness.
Kathy, do you remember those kid things where it was like a piece of like, just like black cellophane with some tablet underneath it?
Absolutely.
And you like lifted it up and then it disappeared?
Absolutely. Magic Slate. Yep. I had many a thing. Yeah. Yep. I had many. At the little red binding at the top. Waxy underlaying. Yeah.
Everybody listening right now is like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh, this is getting cut
Talking about
out.
old timey shit. My cat.
No,
thinks
well,
that
they don't know
This
what
is
I've been
the-
doing the whole time. That's the irony.
Yeah. Just go watch the video, guys.
Go watch this.
Be,
And look,
be-
it comes with 4 different pens. I only used one of the 4.
Wow.
Imagine how much fun you could have with
That's
this.
just, gosh, chock full of fun.
not
I am
not
now
sponsored.
my 5-year-old. What happened?
not sponsored, Paul. Yeah.
Goes around, comes around, bro.
Stip, author of I Am No Guy, Pearl Jam Song by Song. Thank you for joining us yet again.
Pleasure as always. Thank you so much for having
Requisite
me.
reading. I maintain
Requisite reading.
in every episode. Requisite reading for every Pearl Jam fan.
Thank you. Very kind.
And I would argue on the Mount Rushmore of Pearl Jam fans, Kathy Davis, 2 feet thick. She's got a cat named Keely who's
Sorry.
running amok in her Pearl Jam.
Kathy is the Pearl Jam fan life we all wish we had. Is what
Here's the thing is, in a pre-internet era or early internet era, like, you were one of maybe 3 Pearl Jam fans I could name that I didn't know. That, like, this is a person who is a fan, but like somehow exists in a tier above that where they're like, a national stand-in for whatever
Gosh,
I'm talking about with my friends.
well said, Steve.
I'm blushing. Thank you guys.
Kathy transcends your
I'm old.
landline.
Bottom line, I'm old. I've been around. But you know what? I still love my band just as much as I did after I saw MTV Unplugged in 1992. And that has not changed. And that is a miracle because I can't think of any long-term relationship in my life where I really regard the people with that much esteem after this much time. And
You know what? Pittsburgh night 1. I'm taking my 13-year-old daughter to her first show. She's super excited.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm doing my part to keep it going. So it's not
love it.
just
Awesome.
it's not just the
took-
people who
I'm
saw
still-
it in 1992.
I'm still pondering
That's
Pittsburgh, so I might see you there.
That's amazing. I took my 10-year-old, my daughter, to her first show.
Yeah.
We did it at Dana Point here at Ohana, and I'm so thrilled. And Jason as well brought his son. So I'm so thrilled this year that you're doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
That's
I
fantastic.
can't wait to hear all about it.
Raise them right, baby.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
Everyone out
So
there,
much fun.
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, whatever you've been doing. If you would like to help the people that we like to help, donorschoose.org is the place to go. There's a link in the description below this video or in wherever you listen to the podcast. Go ahead, donate. Paul, I have to hope, is out of stickers. Or he picked them off the
They're all
floor.
on
I
the
don't know,
floor
but
of
here
his
they are.
office.
No, I've been here the whole time. And
Okay,
to those of you
stickers.
just listening, I highly encourage you to rate, to review, and to subscribe on your preferred podcast platform of choice.
God damn it.
As it began, so it ends.
How does he have so many?
I mean,
God.
it's good. You got good movement out of them too. Like, do you rehearse that before the
You
show
must be a
starts?
good poker player. You can
Here's the
deal
thing,
those
guys.
things like miracle.
Yeah.
You guys are praising him for his sticker throwing abilities, and I agree. But listen, but you gotta remember the reality is when the cameras cut off and the lights turn off, Paul is on his hands and knees alone in that room picking them off the floor.
You have 25 stickers.
He is humbled by the sticker.
Merch abuse, how dare
But he's
you?
He's absolutely right. Feed that algorithm. You're listening only. If you're watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, all that shit. I mentioned
Do 'em both.
Donors Choose. Donors Choose. If you donate the most money, guys, remember there's music to be had. There's the Rockford's LP OG, and then there's the Waiting EP that could be yours. So donate, donorschoose.org. And if you are a patron in the month of February, Stip is patron.
I'm a proud patron. People should join.
Give
Oh,
way.
Stip.
This could be Stip's.
Giveaway,
He's
giveaway.
allowed
It
to have
could
it. Paul can't, but Stip could.
I am not eligible.
Yeah.
Still gives his merch. He just gives it away. Ha, ha, ha.
We
Keeping
can't
with
top
the
that
theme.
line. End it now,
That's
Jason.
Keeping with the
actually
theme.
pretty good.
And
You
scene.
should put that in the signature.
I don't know what next week is. Joke, I do. And we'll see you there, maybe here on YouTube. I don't know, or maybe audio only. So until then, you've been listening to or watching.
He's writing something on the board.
Oh, no, he's writing it.
That's going to work great in the
The
audio medium I
state
usually
of love
listen
and
to.
trust.